Let's start with Chapter 1, Workplace Safety Protocols, laying the groundwork. Help if needed. Time to test your knowledge of safety and ensure they have the resources and authority to do their job. Safety is a team effort. By working together, we can create a safer work environment for everyone. Welcome back, construction crew, in OSHA 30 Study Guide, the ultimate source for exam preparation. Today, we're tackling Module 5, Understanding Hazardous Chemicals in the Workplace. See this innocent-looking paint can? It might give you a nasty cough if you breathe in the fumes too much. And this cleaning solution? Well, let's just say it's not a friend to your skin. But fear not, we'll learn to identify these chemical culprits and keep ourselves safe. Alright, let's ensure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you never miss a safety lesson. Now, here's a breakdown of Module 5. Let's start with Chapter 1, the Hazard Communication Standard, your chemical safety shield. Imagine a knight in shining armor, but instead of a sword, they hold a clipboard. That's what the Hazard Communication Standard is. It's a set of rules from the OSHA Standard 1983, protecting you from chemicals. Companies that make or sell these chemicals, like paint manufacturers or cleaning product distributors, have to figure out what's dangerous and tell everyone about it, like creating safety data sheets, SDSs. Now, the good news. Employers are required to use the least hazardous chemicals possible, but knowledge is power, so let's talk about the Hazard Communication Standard, basically the construction site map for chemical safety. The HCS ensures you're informed about the chemicals you're working with. Here's how it works. First up, Hazard Communication Program. This is like the safety briefing before a big job. It outlines how you'll learn about the chemicals you encounter. Now, labeled containers. Think of these as chemical warning signs. They'll have pictures and symbols, pictograms, that show the dangers in a flash. Further, safety data sheets, SDSs. These are like detailed blueprints for each chemical. They tell you everything you need to know: properties, hazards, how to handle them safely, and even first aid measures in case of an accident. Most important, worker training. You won't be sent on a chemical combat mission without proper training. You'll learn how to read labels, understand SDSs, and most importantly, how to stay safe. This plan ensures you have all the info you need to stay safe. Now test your knowledge. Good work. Now on to Chapter 2, Decoding Chemical Dangers. Alright, HCS is our shield, but what are we shielding ourselves from? Let's talk about hazardous substances. These chemicals can be like tiny ninjas, sneaking into your body and causing trouble. We'll explore two main types: physical hazards and health hazards. Physical hazards are like construction site bullies. They can cause immediate harm. Think fire from flammable liquids, or explosions. Yikes! Health hazards are more like the sneaky saboteurs. They might not get you right away, but exposure over time can lead to lung problems, even cancer. Not cool. Here are the examples. Now, let's talk about defense strategies, because even with all this knowledge, hazardous chemicals can still try to infiltrate your body. There are 4 main routes of exposure. First, inhalation. Breathing in dust, fumes, or vapors. Think of it like accidentally sucking in a mouthful of paint fumes. Not pleasant. Then, ingestion. Swallowing a hazardous substance. This might happen by accident, or if you forget to wash your hands before eating. Yuck. Further, absorption. Some chemicals can sneak through your skin, like a tiny construction worker squeezing through a gap in the fence. Finally, injection. This is the least common, but it can happen if a chemical gets into your body through a cut or puncture wound. Ouch. That's why it's important to know your exposure limits. Permissible exposure limits, PELs, are the regulated limits or concentrations of a substance allowed in the air. These are the safe amounts you can be exposed to without getting sick. Let's test your knowledge. Perfect. Now Chapter 3, Asbestos, the silent killer. Do you know what is asbestos? Imagine tiny, invisible needles floating in the air. That's basically asbestos. It's a mineral that used to be popular in building materials because it's strong and fireproof. Wondering why is it dangerous? Because asbestos fibers are so small, you can't see them. When you breathe them in, they can get stuck in your lungs and cause damage over time, and the worst part, it can take decades for the health problems to show up. There are different levels of risk when working with asbestos, categorized into classes. Class 1. It is the most hazardous, involves removing thermal insulation and sprayed-on or troweled-on surfacing asbestos-containing materials. Class 2. It includes removing asbestos-containing materials that are not thermal system insulation, like resilient flooring and roofing materials. Class 3. It focuses on repair and maintenance operations where asbestos-containing or presumed asbestos-containing materials are disturbed. Class 4. It covers custodial activities to clean up asbestos-containing waste. Well, how much asbestos is too much? The government has strict rules about how much asbestos you can breathe in. Permissible Exposure Limit, PEL. This means you can't be exposed to more than 0.1 fibers of asbestos per cubic centimeter of air over an 8-hour workday. Short-Term Exposure Limit, STL. This is a stricter limit of 1 fiber per cubic centimeter for any 30-minute period. Now, smoking and asbestos, a deadly duo. Smoking is bad for you, we all know that, but if you smoke and are exposed to asbestos, your risk of getting lung cancer skyrockets. Here is your boss's responsibility. If your job involves asbestos, your employer has to provide protective gear like masks, suits, and gloves. Monitor the air quality to make sure it's safe. Offer medical checkups if you're exposed a lot. Now, imagine you're working on renovating an old school. You start tearing out the ceiling tiles and notice they look a little strange. You suspect they might contain asbestos. What's next? Your supervisor should immediately stop the work, test the tiles, and hire a certified asbestos abatement company to safely remove the material. Workers involved in the removal process must wear specialized protective gear, and the area must be contained to prevent asbestos fibers from spreading. Let's check your knowledge. Remember, the best defense is a good offense. Here are some battle tactics to keep you safe. Do you have any questions? Leave them in the comments below and we'll be happy to help. Stay tuned for the next module, where we'll tackle a whole new set of safety challenges. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to OSHA Outreach Courses.